catch up. We have a delay again. "32 seconds delay." Yeah. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Heather. This is the 2020 Mermaid Colourathon, and I hope everybody's having fun. There is a list below of all the Etsy stores. You've still got time to go and get any images you want. Hi Leslie, welcome. I've also put the link to the schedule in the chat if anybody hasn't got it. And I'm getting an error already. Is it Mika? I don't know how to say your name, sweetie, but hello and welcome. Hi Bernie, welcome. Just wait for a few more people to come in. And I'm sorry if it starts buffering. We are out in the countryside and we haven't got much internet coverage at the minute because they're sharing it out with everybody else. Hi Leah, welcome. Hopefully we can maintain a smooth stream. I got it right, did I? Mika, thank you. Well, welcome. I'm going to be doing a Debra Muller picture today. Hi Mona, welcome. I'm also going to be using Derwent Inktense pencils. And how are you enjoying the colour-a-thon so far? The wonderful Shelley and Belinda has done an awesome amount of work to bring this to everybody, and so have the illustrators, and we'd like to thank them as well for everything they've done and providing such wonderful images for us all to colour. Glad you're loving it, Bernie. It gets everybody together and we find channels we didn't know about, and it brings the community together. You've only used them once, have you, Mona? They can be a bit hit and miss, but they are fun to work with. Hi Bianca, welcome. Hi Liz, welcome. I don't think we're having any more through yet. Hello to all the lurkers as well. You're welcome. Right, so I've got my swatch book, and I'm sorry there's a big delay on my computer. It's down to the internet, I think, because there's nothing switched on the computer. So I've got my swatch book, and I want to do an unusual skin. I want to do a green with peach undertones. So I've picked Ionian green because it's a very good base for mermaid skin. Hi Yvette, welcome. I've also picked turn the page. I've picked baked earth, saddle brown and red oxide. So they're the 4 that I'm using at the minute. I've also got a plastic mat that I put colour on and pick up with a brush. I like to build the colour up rather than go straight in. So if you can use pencil straight to your paper, but if you're learning, you're better off doing from a plastic sheet and picking it up with a water brush. You have a little bit more control. If you put too much pencil down, you can get streaks, you can get marks of pencil that don't dissolve properly and you can't blend it in, and I've just smacked her face. Oh, you poor girl. She's got a black mark in the middle of her face. Don't do that. So yeah, put colour down on your plastic mat and pick up that way. I've got my rough side. So I've got the Ionian green. I'm putting that down first. Then I've got the red oxide and I'll put that one down. Baked earth. And I'll show you what all these look like on the plastic in a minute. And saddle brown. So I don't know if you can see much of that, but that's as much pigment as you need. Now you can use a paintbrush and separate water, or you can use a water brush. Don't make any difference. Apart from the water brush, you tend to get more water, so you have to be careful of what paper you're using. If you're using mixed media paper or watercolour paper, then you've got no worries. But if you're using a colouring book, this can tend to be too much water and it will spoil your paper while you're trying to move the ink about, because it's not normal watercolour. It's water soluble ink, not watercolour pencil. So if you're using a colouring book, you're better off with a separate brush and water, and keep soaking the water off your bristles with cloth or anything that's absorbent, so you're not using too much water. Show you both ways. Hi Louise, hi Lozzie. Have I missed anybody? Oh, you're on the bus again, Lozzie. Stay safe, sweetie. Hi Isabel, welcome. Enjoy your lunch, sweetie. What are you having? Anything nice? Just going to zoom in a little bit onto her face. There we go. I've got Strathmore mixed media paper, Yvette. Let me show you. It's this one. I've just zoomed in. Let me zoom out again. Wrong way. There we go. It's this one I'm using. The Visual Journal Mixed Media. This one's £90, 190 GSM. They do another mixed media paper. I think it's got a yellow front, I'm not sure, but that one is £110. I can't remember what GSM, probably 200, I think, 210. This one works well in my printer. The other one, it tends to get stuck, so it's a bit hit and miss whether it'll work or not. So I buy this one. It's a little bit thinner. Right. And the reason I like mixed media paper, as well as, instead of, should I say, watercolour paper, is my printer won't take watercolour paper. It usually ends up too thick. That's alright, Isabel, enjoy your dinner. Hi Pam, welcome. And also, watercolour paper tends to be have a bit more tooth, a bit thicker. I struggle with pencil if I'm using pencil and watermedia. Hi Cosplay, welcome to the UK. Right. Now hopefully my video isn't dragging and going slow, but on my monitor it looks like it is, and I hope it's not. Right, I'm going to use this brush, wet it, take some hot water off. I'm going to put a green base down on the skin first with the Ionian green, and I'm only touching a little bit of the pigment and dissolving it away from the bulk of it. Take a little bit more water and water it down a little bit more. And I'm going to come and put that on a face. Now with it Inktense, you've got to keep it moving, keep the edges wet. If you stop and you lay it dry, you can't do anything else with it, you can't blend it out. Once it's dry, you can't move it. So the idea is to keep it wet. If you want to deepen the colour anywhere, do it straight away. So that's the base. I should hope nobody's being abusive, Leslie. It's supposed to be a fun time for everybody. Is the video going smooth, or am I jerking because my computer's showing it as moving very slow with my hand? So, can somebody give me a bit of feedback, please? Tell me what it's doing. So I'll look up again in a second. Just want to blend that out. Somebody's been verbally abusive. Oh, at work, right, sorry. It's not what you should put up with, is it? At home or at work. Right, thank you, Mona. So it's running smooth. That's all right then. It's just my second monitor that's showing it as staggery. Right, so some people are getting it smooth, others are getting it draggy. Well, I'm very sorry. I wish this virus thing weren't on anymore, because it's affecting us. We're being isolated. We that far away from the phone exchange that we suffer every time there's a problem with internet. Right, so I picked some more green up Make sure the brush is still damp so it moves it about. Dampen it again. And each time I dampen the brush, I dab it on the sponge, both sides. It takes some of the water out, but leaves the bristles damp. Don't matter that it goes down into the tail some, because that's going to be green and blue. Just smooth it out. I'm going to use just clean water, no colour. Fade that out. Like I said, you can do this with watercolour paper and mixed media, but you can't do it in your colouring box. There's a different way of doing it in the colouring box. There, I've faded that down to there. It'll not leave an harsh line now. Hi Belinda, welcome. The colour I'm using at the minute is Ionian Green, and my name's Heather. Debra Muller is the drawer of the image. It's number 1320. I don't know if it'll focus on that. Can you see it? Ionian Green. Hi Ria, welcome. Right, so we've got a green base. Not that you can see much of it at the minute. I'm going to wet the brush, take the water back off the bristles, and I'm going to come to the red oxide and water that down. It's very diluted. You can't really see any colour at all. And just dry her face off. That's all right, Bernie. my brain melts regular. I think we can all say that at some point. Right, so I've got the red, and I'm bringing some in from the top and blending it down. The darkest area needs to stay up in the shadow. Wipe off and then drag it down. No, No, neither. Not an airdryer and not a small fan. It's a craft tool. It's extremely hot. You don't use it as a airdryer, it'll burn you. But it's brilliant for drying in between layers. It's from Ranger. Hi Tracy, welcome. Pretzels do tend to make you thirsty. It's all that salt that's in it. Right, I just want some plain water again. And I'm going to blend the side of her nose because I don't want an harsh line. Blend that down there. There we go. Right. Now, I think I'm going to have to try and alter this because it's... Oh, no, I won't, because one monitor's showing me true colour, the other one isn't. Right, so as long as it looks alright for you. That's alright, Cat's Play. We all learn different products and we all start running off to Amazon to see if we can find one. Right, I'm going to water some more down, very thin. And where I start is where I want it darkest. And then thin it out to the highlight. So it's darker on the cheekbones, so I'm starting there. And I'm going to dab the colour into that area. And bring it down a little bit. And I'm just adding a little bit of colour at a time. Blend it out. You're better off building up than going in too dark because, like I said, you can't lift it. You can't take the colour off again. Take a little bit more. I want to bring it off this side. Under her eye. Wipe off excess and pick up just water and blend it out. I've wiped too much water off it, haven't I? Hey Sean, welcome. It's a good job we can read when computers, keyboards change letters. You'll really like this heat gun, Tracy. It's extremely good. Right, mix a little bit more colour, and I've done it a darker mix this time because we're more in shadow. And I'm tapping it towards her arm because I want the dark to stay down there. Blend it off again. Right, I'm slowly building the colour. That's because, Lozzie, you're too tempted. And that little voice in your head that says, I don't need it, I don't need it, won't listen. And the Brit side of her nose there. do the other side. I've wiped it off onto this sponge and then I'm blending it out while I've got nothing on the bristles. I think everybody's gone to bed. And I don't blame them, because there's some time zones that's they should be in bed asleep and they're just going to make themselves ill if they're not. Dry that off and then we want another layer. And each time I dry it, it goes a little bit lighter than what I've just put down. Hi Gary, that's all right, lurk away. Still red iron oxide. We're very watered down. I'm going to come off the right hand side again because it needs to be darker. Wipe the pigment off and blend it out. If it don't move, a little bit of water, because I've got quite a bit of water on the page still, and blend it back. Let some more. Oh, where do I need to come now? Side at nose, so come front side of her eye where I want it darker. And then under the eye and down the nose. Wipe off and blend it across. So we don't have an harsh line. Hi Melody, enjoy your dinner. Has Cindy come in? Hi Cindy. This one, it's a Heat It craft towel. There's also one that says Ranger craft towel. They're both the same, just this is slightly cheaper. But it just looks like a hairdryer, and I can hold these. I can't hold the tubular ones. Although the tubular ones are a lot hotter and do dry quicker. I like this one because it's a bit gentler. Right, I don't know how to say your first name, but I can say Gertrude. Welcome. I'm not very good with names, I'm afraid. You're welcome, Belinda. Thank you, Cindy. The thing with Inktense, it's all about layering. You have to keep drying, put a thin layer on, dry again, put a thin layer on, and keep building until you get the colour you want. Hi Sarah, good morning. Welcome. Right, I want a little bit more pigment on the right hand side of her face again. And quickly dry that off. It should have dried majority on it while I was talking to you. Right, so still with the red iron oxide. Go on, brain's not thinking. What's it called? Red oxide, 1910. For those coming in, this is Derwent Inktense and Strathmore Mixed Media paper. The image is by Debra Muller. There is links below to all the Etsy stores for anybody who's not got any images they want. Bye, Lizzie. Take care, sweetie, and have a good day. That's all right, Bianca. Lurk away. Right. Now I want some more colour. And each time I pick new colour up, or a new of the same, I go in where I want the darkest area first while it's got a lot of pigment on the bristles. And then as it starts wearing out or wearing thin, then I start bringing it down to other areas, because I don't want the big heavy pigment in the centre of her face. Wipe the ink off. And I'm blending just clear water into that line. I'm going towards it with the water. And what that'll do is take that harsh line. Can you see that okay? I can't zoom in anymore. I can bring the camera down though, if that'll help. Just means there could be a way of my face on the other screen. That'll make it a bit clearer for you, won't it? That's all right, Tracy. Lurk away. We all enjoy these colourathons, but family still need us, and house still needs cleaning, and food needs cooking. So anybody who needs to lurk, that's fine. Right, more red iron oxide. Red oxide. I keep saying iron. That's because of the coloured pencils. It's just red oxide on Derwent. My brain changes it between my brain and my mouth. Thank you, Tracy and Mona. Thank you. Right, I've picked more colour up, and I'm wanting to darken some of the left side of her face towards this side. So I'm coming in at the side of the nose, right in the tip of where her eye meets her nose, and that's where I'm putting the darkest pigment. And each time I'm blending the colour towards that corner. Where I want it the darkest. And wipe off again. Clean water. And bring it just below that line and push the water towards it. It softens that line again. You're taking notes, are you? Well, the video will stay up. Yeah, it is a big learning curve, the Inktense, but you can get some beautiful images from them if you take the time to practice and learn what they do. It's not something that you can jump in and learn overnight, I'm afraid. It is something that develops. You develop a technique. I've been using Inktense for quite a few years, since the late 90s. Not for adult colouring. I only started adult colouring just over a year ago, but I've used them in work, in a job, and I still get pictures that don't come out how I want them to, even after all this time. They are a beautiful medium to use. They're so different from anything else. They're not like watercolour paints or watercolour pencils. It's not like using dry pencils. But you do get a lot of fun out of them. Right, I'm darkening this bottom corner, and wipe the pigment off again and bring just clean water in and blend it back. That's starting to darken that bottom corner because she's got shadow from her shoulder onto her face. I did t-shirts. I did t-shirt design. I also did handkerchiefs, pillowcases, any fabric that needed pattern designs on. We used Inktense. It was a small store, a small business that wanted to use something different than silk paint or fabric dyes. They wanted to be a different thing on the market, and they went for almost 5 years, and then they moved abroad, so I ended up with no job. I was only with them for 2 years. But yeah, it taught me a lot. It taught me highlights and shading and how to work with different mediums. It taught me what fabric were like and what you could do with it, even down to stiffening fabric and making it into cushion covers after you'd painted designs on. You know, I learnt a lot in 2 years, and I'm very grateful for that. And then you learn more after, because you experiment, especially if it's a craft you like doing. Right. That's slowly building the colour up on her face. I don't want her very peachy because she's in water. So that's why I've got the green undertone. I need to do around her eyes looking at that. I've not put enough colour on. Still with the red oxide. Put the colour down just off at Bridget's nose, and I'm just dabbing. I'm not rubbing the paper at all. I'm just dabbing the colour to where I want it, and you'll see it pools and just stays there. I'm going to start introducing a little bit of brown into it. So I'm bringing some saddle brown, and I'm going to mix that with some oxide and deepen the colour a little bit. And the saddle brown in the Derwent's got a yellow tone to it. My brush is quite wet. Just want a thin line up against her hair. Wipe all the pigment off again. Clean water. Same again. Just away from the pigment I've put down and rub the water up to it. Soften the line again. Dry that. Well, once it's dried, fully dry on the fabric, then it's preserved. You cannot move it. The colour, if it's out in sunlight, I suppose the colour could fade over time, but we're talking a long time. That same brown mixture, I'm going to pick some more up, mix it together. And I want to go right to edge of her hair. And this paper's buckling quite a bit because I'm only pouring water all in one area. The reason paper buckles is because the dry area is fighting against the wet, and the wet's just making it lift up. But if it's all wet equal, then it flattens to some extent, not fully. It flattens down again. I'll take the pigment off, clean water, and rub it up to that line. It's a good idea. Treat it exactly the same as you do with paper. Little bit of pigment, dry it off, preferably with an heat gun. Don't go too close to the fabric with the heat gun though. Do it from a little bit further out. Dry your layer, put more pigment over it, dry it, pigment again, dry it. You might need 10 layers to get it to be saturated enough on the fabric, and then let it dry completely before you set it to do anything else, before you sew it or wear it or wherever. Make sure it's completely dry. And if you're going with pencil straight on fabric, always make sure you've put enough water to dissolve all of it, because if you haven't, when you come to wash it, it'll dissolve and spread out and you've ruined your picture. The thing you have to watch as well is fabric. When you put in water and ink on it, it will spread out. So if you want it to stay in a certain position for a certain image, work further into your image and let it spread to the edge where you want it to go. Don't start at your edge because it'll spread out further than where you want it to go. Practice, experiment with it until you get it to how you want it. Try on an handkerchief to start off with. Have I tried stretching my paper? No, I haven't, Sean, because I don't know what you mean by stretching paper. Hi Robin, welcome. I've got quite a few requests for projects in my diary, but I'll put that one in. It'll probably be towards the middle of summer, and we'll do an handkerchief if you want. No, Cindy, we didn't use a wax resist. That's an interesting idea though. Any area that you want to knock back the red a little bit, pick the green up again. The green neutralises the orange red. I'm just trying to thin that line a little bit under the eye. So I'm using a little bit of green and it cancels out some of that red. Clean water and blend it out again. Yeah, I'll put it in my diary then. I always forget there's people that like to learn other than just colouring in books. Mixing some more saddle brown with the red oxide, and I want to go under a nose now. Tad shade in there. I want to be very careful because I don't want to put too much down. Pick a little bit more up. Just the split in the lip, I can't remember what it's called. I do usually know the name of things, but my brain's not thinking at the minute. Now that looks mucky. Moved it off a little bit. Better. Hi Kenny, welcome. Is Lulu here? I didn't see Lulu. Hi Lulu, I didn't see you come in, sweetie. Sorry. Okay, Melody. I thought you'd be asleep, Kenny. Right. Now I'm going to take the slightly oranger tone, which is the baked earth. Water it down. This is a slightly peachy orange tone that I'm going to add just into the cheeks, come off the edge of her nose. I'm not going across the centre because I want that to stay as an highlight. Wipe that back again. What? Blend that back. Sorry, it's a bit tedious with all the building of the colour. No, don't use it on your hair. No, it's way too hot. It's just for crafts. I need some more. Could do with slightly darker shade again. I'm going to come down onto a shoulder and leave her face alone for a bit. So I'm coming to the red oxide again, water it down. I'm coming from a elbow, build the shade down there to start off with. wipe off, water, and blend it out. Sorry you can't see that for face, can you? There we go. Oh, that's better. I should have took the watermark off the screen. Hi Kirsty, welcome. How are you doing? Hope everybody's well. I forgot to ask. Hi Cynthia. I keep looking for the N in it. For Cynthia. How are you doing? Doing the same area again, darken it a little bit more, and then bring it out into the centre. Water, just water, and I'm putting the water towards the pigment, soften that line and dry it. Same pigment, watered down. I'm coming under her shoulder this time, below where her hair's laid. Put the pigment there. Wipe off, just water, blend towards it. So it takes that harsh line straight away when you run water into it. Don't let it go dry or else it won't work. Blend that back edge off again. Oh, Sharon's easier for me to remember than trying to say Cynthia when it's not. You change it in your Google settings. If you open your settings up on Google Chrome or any browser that you've got a Google extension on, open settings and you just change your name in there. Right, I've picked up baked earth, and I'm using that just under her armpit because it's a little bit darker and a little bit yellower. Water, just water, and blend that down a bit. Come back to the red oxide, go over the one I've just put down, deepen it, and bring it off into a bob. That's done the shadow a little bit darker than I wanted, but never mind. Bit more water. Diluting the green down again. better. Get a good dry, because I've just did it with lots of water, so get a good dry. Has my chat stopped? Not stalled, have I? The last one I see is Sharon's comment to Kenny. No, chat's still not moving. Might have to refresh it in a second then. Oh, you're just being quiet. That's all right. I thought you'd all run off and left me. Hi Selena, welcome. I'm probably missing people coming in. If I am, shout up again. I don't do it on purpose. Good job I didn't have any coffee left in my cup. I've just stuck my paintbrush in my cup instead of the water. It wouldn't have tasted very nice. Hi Sue, welcome. That's alright Tracy, have a good day sweetie. No, you can use an airdryer, it could just take you a lot longer and you cannot dry the paper fully. So the fibres underneath will stay wet, but you'll dry the top. Where with an heat gun, it forces the heat all the way through the paper, so it will dry all the layer of fibre. Right. More shadow. Oh, I've stuck it in my cup again. I must learn to move my coffee mug when I'm painting. It's not a very good idea. Right, I'm taking the saddle brown, watering it right down, and put some red iron oxide in it. So I'm mixing the two together. Want it right at the base. Wipe off, pick water up, just water. Blend it. I don't know if you've used markers, alcohol markers or not, but you know when you use the clear marker and you push the pigment back when it bleeds out, well that's what I'm doing with the clear water. I'm blending the pigment line in with clear water so it don't leave an harsh line. it Tracy's birthday? I've missed saying happy birthday. If you watch it back, Tracy, happy birthday, sweetie. Hi Joanne, welcome. That's all right, Mona. Just the red oxide on its own, watered down, and I'm going to bring that just in front of where I've put the other colour. Blend that. Right. That sounds like fun, so you had a wonderful day. Right, I'm going to come down a tail now, leave all that colour. I need to put some different colours out. What time are we? 1:20. Right. I've got cadmium yellow, scribble that down, apple green, teal green, green aquamarine, and deep indigo. Well done, Joanne. Did you enjoy doing it? Get it out, Sharon, and play. You'll enjoy it. Right, I'm starting with the darkest, which is deep indigo. Adding water to just a small amount of pigment. I'm going to bring that at the base. Wet it so it doesn't dry on that edge. And then I'm going to come in with the next colour, which is the green aquamarine, and I'm going to run that on that edge and into the indigo. It will need darkening more, I've only put a thin layer. And the teal green. Colour looks subtle at the minute because it's got to be built up again. Wet that edge. And the apple green. And each time I'm letting it blend down into what I've already put down, making it thinner as it comes up a body. Lift that up a bit. Oh, I'm off screen, aren't I? Sorry guys. It's better. And on the yellow. This is going to be the very centre highlight. And then work back again. Apple green. Teal. Green aquamarine. Indigo at the base again. Thin it out to nothing. Gone over that line, but it don't matter because it's going to be ocean. Green aquamarine, bring it into the indigo. This one's the tail. Like that. And then a harsh line. So I'll wet it down again. Cadmium yellow. And we're at apple green. Tail. Wet all that edge so it doesn't dry. Blend that into a body. Water. It's just plastic. It was a plastic carry case that you put A4 paper in, and I've chopped it up, used it because it's got a rough side and a smooth side, so I just use that. Right, now back to the green aquamarine, and I'm going to mix a little bit of indigo into it just to darken it a little bit. Bring up that edge. Just clean water. That'll wet all that. Hope it's spread because I haven't put any base colour, so just use water as the base colour. There we go. Right, I can go back to other colours. Teal. Apple. Cadmium yellow. Apple. Teal. And then the aquamarine green. Took some dark indigo. I've used the biggest side of the plastic container to put the paper on. I've taped it down to that, and then this were the sides, and I've just cut it up. You know, an A4 folder type thing. Some of them have got a press stud, and you open it and put all your coloured pages in, or wherever, or some people have them for the gas bills, electric bills, so on, and keep them in a plastic folder. I think it cost me £1 from Pound Shop. Right, dried that and come into the bottom again. Deepen the colour. Need to put some more down. Need more teal as well. Don't know if you've noticed, but I'm overlapping each colour each time I pick it up, so it blends seamlessly. to zoom out a little bit. I can't get all the tail on the screen. There we go. What have you done? Right. Want more shading at tip or a tail? Time away. 10 to. I've just got just under 10 minutes then. Take some indigo and mix it with the green aquamarine. Thank you, Louise. Thank you, Ria. Sorry, Louise, I didn't see you come in. Thank you, Bernie. There is a way you can still pick colour straight off the pencil if you haven't got a palette at hand at the time, but I do recommend getting any plastic sheet. I'll show you on this fin. I want the Ionian green again, and with a clean brush, make sure it's totally clean. Right. Pick water up and take some of it off and wet your paper first. I know it's wet. Dampen your brush again. Pick a little tiny bit of pigment off your pencil and just touch it to it and pick a little tiny bit. You can see it just on the end of my tip of my bristles, and then while the paper's wet, put it in, move it out and smooth it. If you need a little bit more pigment, do it again. Pick it up, place it down while it's wet and blend it out. As long as you've wet the paper first and mixed media paper or watercolour paper, then you can pick it up off the pencil and put it down where you want it. Dry that off. I know Vicky uses a piece of glass for Neos and Caran d'Ache Supras, but I'm not sure what she uses for Inktense, because I've only seen her putting pencil straight onto the paper. There we go. Right, 5:02. Time to say goodbye. Let's zoom out. Oh, you know where I ain't done? I'm going to have to run over a little bit. I ain't done the giveaway. I hope Lisa don't mind that I'm going to go over 5 minutes. I totally forgot about the giveaway. Anyway, Debra Muller is generously giving away a PDF book from a Etsy store. Any book you can choose. So whoever wins, go to the link below for a Etsy store, pick a PDF, and then email me to tell me which one you want, and I'll get in touch with Debra. So quickly give you the rules. Don't put any number in until I type go go go. No chatting between go 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 and stop stop stop. The numbers closest without going over wins. First number you put in stays. Do not put more than one number, and don't delete your number. If someone has the same number as you, whoever put it in first on my screen wins, and make sure you're all in live chat. This giveaway is not endorsed by YouTube, Instagram or Facebook, and the winner to email me at hbfelts@gmail.com. So keep an eye on your chat box, because that's where it'll say go, go, go. So I'll type it now. Give you a few more minutes for people to put the numbers in. Sorry, I forgot to mention it's 1 to 100. 1 to 100. Is that it? Have we got all numbers in? Stop. Right, go to random org. I'll not be able to see chat for a minute. Generate. The number is 7. So who's got 7 without going over? Lulu. So if you can email me, Lulu, please, at hbfelts@gmail.com, and I'll get that straight off to Debbie. And congratulations. The email again is hbfelts@gmail.com. I'll let you all go to Lisa Matrokin now. And thank you very much for coming and visiting today, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of the colourathon. Bye for now.